Hi guys, my name is Jana, and today I want to do my first Soutache project. In English it's called Soutache, but it's a French word, so I'm calling it Soutache, and because that's the way it's supposed to be pronounced. Anyway, I have been practicing. This is the update on my practicing project, and I think I've got the curves pretty much under control, so I think I'm ready for my first very simple Soutache project here. Of course, this is very simple. This is basically the beginners, and today I want to start with just doing the round area and adding a monty in the middle. You can also use a pearl if you don't have those, or a seed bead to put in the middle so you don't see the gap. And then in the second part I want to do the back, show you how to do the back, the embellishment on the side, and of course how to add the Swarovskis. So it's going to be a two-parter because the first part just takes up a lot of time, and I don't want to make videos that are longer than 45 minutes to upload because they take about 16-17 hours to upload. So, and we're going to start with this, which is very simple. This is basically your brick stitch around your pearl, 3 rows, which I already got done here. Now the next thing you need, of course, is Soutache thread, and the threads that I've used, there's a little tutorial on what kinds of threads there are. The threads that I've used for this one are the rayon thread, which is very silky and smooth, weak, as I call it, thread, 2 times, a white one and a yellow one. And I used 2 parts of the more stiffer white, not the stiffest one, but this is also shiny, just not as shiny as the other 2. And this is like the second shiniest one that I have. And then there is, I just want to show you the difference. One that doesn't shine at all, and it's really white, and it's even more stiff than the other ones and much thicker than the other ones. But I have a whole tutorial on the difference of these Soutache threads. Let me add that link also in this video. And I'm going to start with about half an arm span wide, and you're not going to need that much. But I like to have plenty of threads just in case. You might want to embellish some more when you get the hang of it. I also got an extra bag with leftover Soutache thread. As long as you got pieces left over about this size, don't throw them away. There will be other projects or smaller than this too. Just put everything in well, I got like a seal bag, basically for food. And I'm going to keep my leftover threads in there. So just do that because there will be other projects where I will show you what to do with the littler threads. But first we start with 1 white, and I'm just measuring by the same thread here. Cut. And I need 1 more white. And I'm running out of Soutache thread very rapidly. But I really love working with this, and I love practicing with this, and I hope I can save you some thread by already showing you how to do a very simple project. Now, first of all, you need to do a brick stitch around the pearl, and that is 3 rounds worth of brick stitch. I got the same color. You don't have to use that. You can use whatever color you want. And right now I'm going to make sure that this thread that comes out of the end of my pearl gets worked away. And I started my brick stitch with an arm span and a half wide. I will add the link underneath the video in the description area if you don't know how to do a brick stitch around the pearl. You will be redirected to my beginner's beading page, and that will show you how to do the brick stitch. So I'm going to get that one out of the way, that one out of the way, and we're going to start where when we added our last thread, it comes out, and we're now going to start with the threads, putting them in order. So that was, let me see, how did I do that again? That was the white one, then came the yellow one, then I had the shiny one, and on top of that there was the white one. And now we just need to just lay them out and make them a little bit even. Find your middle, and when you find your middle, go back about this far, because we're going around the pearl and we need to have a little bit more room on the right side than on the left. So now we're just going to pick them up one by one. You're about here, and pick up the white thread first, go right in the middle, and then the yellow thread, and make sure you go right in the middle too. And this one is a little difficult to do, because the rayon thread, it will be very easily, you will stick it right through the braid, and you want to make sure you're right in the middle there, because you don't want to damage it. And you can see it opens up here, but as soon as I go there, it will close again. Maybe you can turn it around and just kind of hold that down to go right in the middle, right there. And then we got our white one, and then we got another one that is a little stronger and a little thicker. Okay, and then we're going to pull all these through and get that on top of there. And we're going back through all these braids by just basically sticking it down in the same area, holding that, curving that, and sticking it down in the same area, and going into that same bead that you just came out of, which would be this one. And you gotta hold it, you gotta put your fingers on top of there to keep them all in position. And now we're going to go up the next brick stitch, but you gotta keep that close. Get the braids in order, and just when you go in there, stick that through, and look on the top if you went through the middle. And if it's not in the middle, get it back out, reposition that again, there, now it's in the middle. And pull that through. And then we're going back, and we're going to stay very close to where we just came out of. And back into that seed bead. And this is a very easy way to do this with the brick stitch, because it's much more difficult to do it with another bead where you only have 2 holes. So you can already determine where you need to go, and you're gonna do it with little stitches, but it will hold better, it will look better, it will look more round and more smooth when you're gonna do this first, before you start doing projects that are done with the Rivoli. As you see, this is not as smooth and round. And here I did the brick stitch, and it looks much better. This is my second part. This is my first part, my first practice piece, or actually it's my second practice piece, and this is my third practice piece. So as you can see, this is way much more nicer done than this. So and this was much easier to do than this, putting the braid around the Rivoli. So just saying, for a beginning beading, trying this for the first time, this is really, really nice to do, because you can already do it perfectly and you don't have to practice as much as I did. And as soon as you can get this under control, then we can go to the next project and do a Rivoli with Soutache, and so on and so on. There will be on this channel just tips and tricks on how to curve and do other stuff and add projects, and I will show you my back also, because that's something that I'm lacking with a lot of the tutorials, especially when they're in Polish. I never get to see stuff that how it looks on the back and how they did it on the back, but I will show you that too, because you need to know how to add more pieces, like I added this piece to this piece. These are two separate pieces. This is not one piece. So I will want to show you how those are added to the other pieces. Yeah, and for this it's very simple. You just need to go all the way around, and you need to do it carefully. It will take a lot of time. A little earring like that took me about 3.5 hours to make, but then I'm very precise in my work. If it's not right, I will take it out. If it's not rounded enough, or if you don't remember what seed bead you went into, you can always pull it up a little bit and you can see your thread. It goes right in here, and then you pull it back, and then you know where to go again. If it's not right, let me add another stitch. And where was I? Oh yeah, there. See, I'm also looking every time, like, where was I? Where did I have to go to? What bead was I in? And if you made a flaw, if it's not perfectly round and you're thinking, okay, there's a bump over here somewhere, this is the way you take it out. You just pull it up. You see that first thread right there, and you pull out that thread. Like this, and be careful not to stick in your project, or in your Soutache thread at least. Just pull out the thread, then pull the last one, and pull out the thread, like that. And when you get to, it's very hard to go back from this thread directly straight into those, so I would suggest you take out the next one too, like that. Because it's much easier, let me put my needle back on now, to just turn that around and find the middle here than it would be the other way around. If you would go down, I mean, with that. And if that still wouldn't be right, I would suggest you get it all the way back to the seed bead, come out of the seed bead and just go into the seed bead and up again. And right now, we need to go back into that seed bead. And you need to pull it also a little bit, you know, hold that tight, because you don't want it to get bumpy. You just want to make that straight and smooth. and it turns every time you put a new one in. You need to turn your project to make sure that you go straight up. It's actually not really straight, but you're going a little bit to your left, but that's okay. That's the way it's supposed to be, because if you try and go up really straight, then the outside soutache will be bumpy. You will get a wrong curve. And now we go back in, and when we go back in, you can do that more straight, in a straight line, like that. And then we pick up the next one, get that around there, pick up the next one, and I have stuck in my fingers more often in these last, well, week and a half, I think I've been practicing this, than in the last 5 years altogether. But yeah, it's worth it. Now going around, and I know I came out of this seed bead because I try to stick it up straight and it doesn't go straight. So I'm going a little bit to the left, and then I'm here. So now I need to go back in, and I'm going to go in straight. There we go. And you're turning that and turning that, and if you keep turning that, then you will get a very nice smooth round circle around your brick stitch pearl. Trying to keep that straight into the seed bead and up, not quite in the middle. It will take a little bit of practice, but the projects that you can make are so gorgeous. And I stopped doing beading contests because it never could win any beading contest where people would enter their soutache pieces. I just gave it up. I mean, there are so many much more better beaders than me out there. A regular necklace could never win from a soutache necklace. When you see beading contests, most of the time the soutache products will win. And yeah, I'm hoping to give you guys a fair chance now to learn this and you know, compete with the best of them. I sometimes still enter a beading contest, but I know I can't beat the soutache. It's more for the fun of it actually than for the winning of it. Not that competitive. So yeah, just go all the way around, and when your threads are almost together, like that, I will show you what to do next. Okay, so I would say pause me now until you got your, let me see, that would be like when you come out of this last one of 3. Okay, I'm adding my last one right here. I'll turn that around. Gotta hold that tight now. I'm going back in there again, and I'm going to go in from the right. So that was my last one, but now I need to get back and get it a little bit more straight, like that. So I'm going down one seed bead, like that. Then up in the seed bead next to it, like that. And then I'm going to go into this one again. And I'm going to turn that a little bit more, like that, and get that a little bit more straight, like that. Going back in there again. And now I'm moving over a little bit. Try to keep those braids in order. There. Okay, that looks about right. I'm going to go move to my next one over here. And now I'm very carefully going down, baby steps. I'm not going into the seat beats anymore. Move that over, like that. The curve is already there, it's very natural. So I'm going in here, moving down. And I'm just doing tiny stitches. Moving my way down the first 4 until they meet up, which is about here. So I'm going to do more. One more, like that. And another one, like that. And now my braids meet up, so I'm going to go all the way across to the other side. And back. I gotta stay in the middle. And I'm moving up again. Sometimes it's hard to stay in the middle. There. And now with the next one, I'm going to add my monty. Now I want to show you something. I have monties that have 2 holes. These are vintage monties. Most monties will have 4 holes. These monties have 4 holes, a hole on each side, but there are monties also that have holes on 2 sides. 2 on one side and 2 on the other side. But it doesn't really matter. You can do whatever you want with your monties. If you want to put it on there, you can of course also just use a pearl to fill up that gap, or let me show you, maybe a little bicone like that from one side to the other side. So it doesn't really matter what you use. It's just you don't want to look at that gap, so that's what we're doing. We're filling up the gap. Okay, so I'm going across from one side to the other. I'm trying to do that in a straight line because I want my monty, of course, to be straight. Now, if I need to reposition this monty a little bit and I need it to go a little bit more down, I can just go in there and just go next to the hole where the other thread is, come out a little bit further down, go in there. And position that by going a little bit further down than where I first went into, like that. And I'm going to go up and down a couple of times just to make sure that monty is in there tight. Coming out. And then going in. And then into the threads. So that's the best thing to do, is once that monty is on there, just go in there. And now I just, as you can see, I pulled my thread here, so I gotta take that last thread out. Okay, I pulled my last thread out and I didn't damage the yellow too bad. I'm just gonna go up that way. Okay, and now we're going to add our next pearl. And it doesn't really matter if you came out on this side or this side. It just kind of works the same. Carefully. And if you feel this is not tight enough and you want to close that up some more, you can still go one up, one down. Okay, we're coming out of here, and the next thing we need to do is to do sort of a, well, for lack of a better word, a pre-curve, because we're going to add another pearl right here. So we're going to just hold that pearl and go around it to know in which direction we need to go. You just hold the thread carefully and tiny steps again up. And I'm going to pick up the pearl again, hold it, curve it, hold the thread, and go down. And After a while you get to know how big your pearls are, and you don't have to put your pearl in there every time. But until then, I would just suggest you just put your pearl in there, hold that, throw the pearl out, tiny step upwards, like that. And pull that through. Put the pearl back in there, curve it, hold it, and come back down. Pearl back in there. And you just need to do this until you can actually put the pearl in there. And I will show you where that is. Hold it. Push it through. Put that in there. Curve it. Hold it. Take. Now your pearl needs to go in when you reach a point where you can go diagonal to underneath the monty. So that would be like one little step more. Hold it. Curve it. Hold it. And up again. So I think we are now ready to put in our pearl. So we're going to go down. And pick up our pearl. And go in underneath the monty. In the middle. And then we curve it and hold that tight, and we need to go back underneath the monty and into the pearl and straight up like that. And there. Now that we have the pearl, the threads are going underneath like that, and we're gonna go baby steps again, back, and every time when you do one you have to straighten out your threads. In and up. Coming out of the middle. Keep a good eye on that. Straighten out the threads again. And down. And it's hard. Straighten out the threads again. curve, moving over, and going down. Straightening out the threads again. And going up. Straightening out the threads again. Going down. Straightening out the threads again. And we're almost there. Just for that last part, you need to hold it really good. Yeah, and I just ran out of disc space. So, I'm pretty much around. Now I can turn it around. And hold my threads. Up. And we're going to work on the back now. In. And make sure that looks good on the front too. Get that curve nice and round. And back. And in. And back. Now we need to attach that so that will stay in place, but we're going to do one more. In. And back. Now we're going to move back. One. And again. And a little bit towards these threads. Now very carefully go down in between these two and make sure you're not sticking through the yellow on the other side. Go up and then carefully a little further down, go down. Now you can't see what's happening here, but that's okay, that's the back. So if you're sticking through your yellow, that's fine. Gonna do that again. Gonna pick up a white here, and I'm gonna stick, hopefully, in between the first row. Yep, that That looks good too. And we're going back down. Right there. I'm going to move up a little bit, like here. And carefully see where we come out here. Very carefully. So you're exactly in between them, which is very important, or else you'll be pulling your thread. And down. Okay, and then that's about attached. I'm gonna go down to the middle again. I'm gonna pick these up. And make them go down like that. One and two. And see, that looks good. Now we need to do the other purl exactly the same way. So we're going to go up right here. And we're going to go very carefully in between these two. And make sure you're not sticking in the yellow. Very carefully. And you just pull that like that. In the white and in the monty. And you can go to the other side coming out. And now we're going to add the purl on this side, and we're going to do just exactly the same thing. First we're going to move up a little bit. Like that. Now we need the purl to pre-curve that again. Okay, and now that we have that attached, we're going to curve that to that way. And now we're just going to attach these two sides to each other. And there you have it. Now cut off the braids. And whatever is left over goes in my leftover baggie. And I cut off this one. And there you have it. The first tutorial on how to do Soutache. Now, on the next tutorial, we're going to, of course, make sure that these threads are no longer seen. As you can see, it's a little bit more added together over here, like that. And that's due to the seed beads. And then I can go down with my needle, see how far I can go down after I put my seed beads in. But this is the first one. Wow! And the second tutorial will be on how to finish up the back. I use something we call subadine, that is like half of ultra suede, and it's a lot cheaper, but I'll show you on the next tutorial. So I hope you like this, guys. Yeah, start working on that, and I'll start working on how to do the back, and hope to have that uploaded the day after this is uploaded. So I'm gonna go work on that right now to upload it. See you next time, guys, to finish it up. Bye bye.